Hey, what's up guys, it's Mike with Alpha Reptile back with another video today. And today is a magnificent Friday, and I figured that I would do a kind of greenhouse tour in a sense, or like a vivarium plant room tour, I suppose, because these are all pretty much suitable plants for your vivariums. I will show you a couple of my tanks that I have running now that I set up and I maintain and I bought all the plants for, because if you're in Canada, some of these things can be kind of challenging to find. If you guys are interested in vivarium builds, in planting vivariums, well, stay tuned for a new video coming relatively soon. And just to make sure you don't miss it, make sure you click that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram while you're at it. Links on the screen here for you guys to check out. And let's get into this tour video. Before we jump into the actual video itself, I just wanted to say that this is a Reptology tank. It measures 33 inches long, 19 inches front to back, and 26 inches tall. So it is a pretty good sized tank. If you guys are interested in one of these tanks, let me know. If you're in Calgary or Alberta in general, definitely let me know, because I am actually selling one of these. Now, before we hop into the video portion of the actual tank, I just want to let you know that I am using a modified tank. I basically put in a glass top, as well as I'm using Biopod LEDs. This was about the only good thing that Biopod made, was their lights. Their lights are actually really good. I'm very happy I was able to get some before they are no longer around. So both of these tanks, this one and that one up there, are actually both using the Biopod LEDs. Alright, and here we are at the tank itself. If you guys are interested in any of these plants, I can most likely, or they are for sale, like all the bromeliads here are for sale. So if you guys are interested and you live in Canada, I can ship. The weather's getting pretty cold though, so make sure you get your orders in soon. Best way to contact me is just through Instagram DMs or messaging on Facebook. So this is the tank. I've removed the glass and now you guys can see what's inside. I have a ton of bromeliads, as you guys already saw. All those guys hanging up. There's a couple really nice red ones in the center here. They are starting to color up. I was keeping them in not very good lighting, so it took a little while for them to actually start to get some color, but now that they are, I hope that I'm able to set up a tank soon for them to be so glorious in. Now over here at the back there, I have the Dischidia albida. I'll put the name up on the screen right now for you guys to check it out, but this thing is growing like a weed. I think it looks really nice. I haven't actually used it in any of my tanks yet, but I got it from work when I used to work at Biopod, and it's growing really well. So I grew it from a very small cutting, and now it's turned into this monstrous plant that takes up like half of this giant tank. So up front here, I just have a general like grocery store mini Phalaenopsis. This thing flowers for me almost year round. The only reason why it's not flowering for me right now is because I kind of neglected it before I redid this tank. I'll try and throw in a flashback of the tank from another video or something. So this has got, kind of all my plants in there. There's a bunch of different ones. Got some orchids. Got a Nepenthes pitcher plant at the back. There's also a vanilla vine back there. There's the Darwin's orchid, I believe that's the Angraecum sesquipedale, and you guys can just see how much has changed. But it is growing another flower spike. You guys can see that right here. You guys can see a flower spike growing up. This guy right in front of me here is some orchid that hasn't been doing very well. Maxillary, oh, you guys can't see that. That's it right there. It's a Maxillary Orchid. It wasn't doing very well, but now that I've put it in here, there's actually starting to be some new growth on there, as you can see. So I'm hoping maybe it'll come back. I do have another Maxillary in here. This is commonly known as the coconut orchid. It's the Maxillary tenuifolia. It looks really cool. Its flowers are super fragrant, and the plant itself is just really nice. I'm hoping to incorporate it in a build at some point, but right now I'm just trying to grow it and maybe it'll flower for me without being in a build. That would be really cool. At the very back there, you guys can see the smaller plant right there. That is a Phalaenopsis Japonica. or it used to be called the Maxillary Japonica. It is basically like the lemon orchid. The flowers smell so much like lemon. It's actually kind of awesome. When you walk in here, even with the doors closed and that thing is flowering, it just smells like lemon. Not pledge, because that's not necessarily a nice smell, but it smells like a lemon cake or something like that. Like, it smells really, really good. And then this one here, the next one right next to it, the bigger one, this guy is a Angraecum sesquipedale, or the Darwin's orchid, because this is actually the orchid that Darwin described his like mutualistic relationship of the moth and the flower of this plant. It took him a long time to find the actual moth that pollinated this, because the petioles, and that's where the nectar is, so the moth has to get in there and pollinate it in order to get any of the nectar. Really cool. As a biologist, I kind of have to have that orchid. I think it's a really cool thing to have and just kind of explain, I guess. People might not understand, but I'm sure those of you that are choosing to watch this video know what I'm talking about. Down there we have some Spanish moss. It's just growing in a pot. Well, it's not actually in, it's just lying on top. It's green like that because I just sprayed the tank down, so everything's getting some water and trying to grow. The one with the long oval shaped leaves is another Phalaenopsis. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's another insanely fragrant Phalaenopsis. I believe it's a Bellina cross something else. I can't remember what the cross is, but it's super, super fragrant, and it flowers again pretty much all the time. And actually, there is a flower developing on it, so I'll throw up a link to my second Instagram account that I use for more just daily stuff, or flowers, stuff that reptile people might not care about so much, and you guys can go check it out. I'll post a picture when it flowers again, because they're beautiful, beautiful orchids. The last one that I haven't really highlighted is probably this guy here. That is a monstera species of some kind. I really can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'll try and find it and throw it up on screen for you guys, but it is another monstera species, and yeah, it's another one that I hope to incorporate in a build in the near future. I just really wanted to take root in here and start going and growing strong, so that way I can take some cuttings of it, because we all know and love propagating plants and enjoying our propagated plants. So that's going to do it for this one. You guys can see there just a final shot of it. And now we'll move up to this guy. Alrighty, and here we are at this tank. This tank is one that I actually custom built myself. The glass was cut for me and I made everything else to go inside it. I did the background, I put in all the plants, I did everything for this tank. So, with that being said, let's see some of the plants inside. Alrighty, here. So this is another one of my just kind of greenhouse tanks. I really wanted to make this a dart frog enclosure, but still working on sourcing some frogs for this tank. Up there is a Speclarina grobii. I believe it was formerly the Pleurophthalus grobii, I think. I don't know exactly, but now it is reclassified as Speclarina. Right up front here, and it's like the biggest glare, but that's the marcgravia umbellata. It's a really cool marcgravia species. Over here, these two hanging off the side are the same species. Those are Scaphocephalum macrodactylum. They're both doing quite well. Their new leaves are maybe getting a little bit too much sun or too much light, but I need the powerful lights to reach the bottom of the tank. So up here is a beautiful variegated Philodendron subhastatum. Absolutely gorgeous leaves on that one. I was keeping it under really low light conditions, so I didn't see any of the variegation, but I mean, look at the bottom of the leaves. They're just gorgeous. The leaves overall are so cool now that they're in the proper amount of light. Moving along, we have a nice big bromeliad. More bromeliads, as you see. That is an Epidendrum nanum. This is another Speclarina grobii. This is not the small version of it though. That's just a regular version. Down here we have two of my more rare plants. This is, I can't remember what it's called. Again, I'll throw it up on the video. I have it written down upstairs. I'm going to be trying to make a whole list of all the plants that I have and the ones that I want to sell or the ones that are available for sale. So I have that handy, but this is a Macotes petola. This is a relatively rare in Canada right now, ground growing orchid or jewel orchid. It's beautiful, like it reflects the light. It's so cool. And it's growing pretty well in this tank, so that's nice. Right here is another Scapucipalum Maronii. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's another beautiful plant. It's about to flower as well. It actually just had a flower. I don't know if I posted a photo or if I even took a photo of it, to be honest, but yeah, that's that. And then this one, big boy here, is the Philodendron. I think it's pronounced like Ataboense or Ataboense, something like that. It's a big plant, and it will be going in a much larger enclosure when I build it. It'll be going in one of my 36 talls, which currently some of my chameleons are in right now, and then eventually the frogs from up here will also be in it at some point in another tank. Not the same one as the chameleons, but yeah, that's pretty much all. I don't really have a ton else to say about this tank. I don't know if I mentioned in the video, but there is like 10 different species of orchids in that tank, so it's something that you don't see every day. But it's kind of cool to say that I have a tank with that many different orchids in it. And I'm going to wrap up the video here, guys. So if you liked the video, make sure you click that like button. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, throw them in the comment section down below. I'll reply to as many as I possibly can. While you're down there, if you would like to throw down some video suggestions, definitely do so for me, because I'm producing videos twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did and you want to see more content like this and more Vivarium builds and cool stuff like that, make sure you click that subscribe button and play Ding Dong Ditch with the doorbell next to it. That way you get notified every single time I post a video. I hope you guys liked the video, and we'll catch you on Tuesday. Later, guys.